Greetings fanboys and fangirls, Jared here with another video review from Fanboys Forever. Today we're going to be having a look at the Masters of the Universe Origins Rattlor figure. Of course, Rattlor is a member of the iconic Snake Men, which was the faction that they had He-Man fighting in the 80s, and of course a much beloved toy among collectors who grew up during that time, and of course those who grew up with the 2000X Masters of the Universe versus the Snake Man series. But before we begin, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and that of course that you like the video. It really does help us out, and be sure to comment down below when we're done. With all that out of the way, let's begin. So looking at the packaging first of all, you can see that this is of course the new Snake Man version, the revision that we have for 2023. Looks really cool and I like all those extra touches. You can see that he is crammed with stuff here. On the back, you can see that we have just a little bit about his action feature, and it wouldn't be Origins without this incredible art in the back. And of course it's great to see Snake Armor He-Man. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get the figure out. Of course, we do get a mini comic that focuses on Boltman from the Rulers of the Sun toy line. This is the international version since I got mine from Big Bad Toy Store, and that's the kind that came out first. And it doesn't have any of the word bubbles on it, which is great because you can see all the art unencumbered by all that blocking it. Of course, we do get this little guide to what you can and cannot remove. So speaking of adding and removing things to the figure, there is a little bit of assembly required with General Rattlor here. So we'll go ahead and show you how that works. First of all, we have this kind of soft rubber attachment that's meant to be his tail. I'm actually surprised by how soft this is and did not expect that. I thought it would just be hard plastic. But we just snap it in and you can hear that good satisfying snap, and then you're ready to roll. I like this for a few different reasons. It's not going to weigh the figure down or cause him to be unbalanced, and it's also not going to just crack in two when you try to attach it. And here we have Rattlor out of the package and ready to roll. So of course this is a fascinating figure because his construction is a little different than what we're used to with a lot of Origins figures. Of course, if you have a look, you can see that his torso is a lot more elongated than what we usually see, and really immediately adds like a lot of kind of that alien or monster quality to him. So I'm really glad to see that retained for this release. I'm also really glad to see all of the cool paint application going with the blue stripe and the yellow stripes, and it just gives him that extra little something to make him pop. It's also great to see just how much original sculpting there is on this guy. Of course, with a release like Rattlor, you're going to see all of those like scaly Snake Man parts that you typically haven't seen so far in the line, making it one of the most originally tooled Origins figures that we've had in quite some time. Of course, you know how the articulation works with these things. We're not going to focus on it forever and ever. Just know that nothing's really inhibited compared to what you would usually see on Masters Origins. So it's really nice to see that nothing was sacrificed, even with all of the kind of Snake Man parts and everything. I think the one limitation that we continue to have is that these don't kick out very far, and that's about as far as you can go before you encounter a lot of resistance. Of course, one of the best parts of the articulation is the ability to hold wide stances thanks to the ankle rocker pivot, but that's pretty much it in terms of articulation. He does come with one accessory, which is this Snake Man staff right here. Of course, we'll see this staff quite a bit as it is pretty much the main weapon of this faction, kind of like the Horde and the crossbow. And you can see that with the staff in hand, he looks pretty cool. And of course, you can also comfortably hold it going the other way as well. Even with the elongated torso, you will find that he really isn't much taller than a typical Masters Origins figure. I think the biggest difference is because the leg part here is shorter and this is taller to make up for it. So you can see they're pretty much still eye to eye. Probably a way to keep the size down for the packaging, but it kind of still gives him the correct proportions without throwing the scale off. One of the coolest things that he has in terms of switchable parts is the ability to just pop this head off. It comes off very easily, no struggle at all. And then you can add on his extending neck. Of course, on the original toy, this was accomplished as an action feature, and here it's just swappable parts. Here he is with the extended neck, and everything looks really cool. I think that the biggest issue, if you can call it that, is that nothing is painted on the back of the neck. It would have been so great had they painted in the red, and I think a lot of fans already are. It's great that the sculpting is there with the scales and everything, so that's continued at least. But it's a real shame that it doesn't match the rest of this, because as soon as you look from the side, it looks weird. From the front, it's fine. You would never notice. But I do feel like that they should have kind of went the extra mile to make sure that he would have looked that much more premium, and it would have been a great way to set him apart from previous versions. But I still think it's a great feature to have. So he does have a fun action feature. Let's go ahead and show you what that is. It's the rattle, right? I mean, that's why he's called Rattlor. Get it? Huh? It's taking the baby's rattle action feature and turning it lethal. So, you know, you can hear him coming. It's just, you know, he's just jamming. It's kind of funny. He looks like he's having some kind of fit or something. But yeah, I just thought that was cool. Of course, we have to do a comparison with his Masters of the Universe Classics counterpart. I mean, you've often heard me talk about how unfair some of these comparisons feel, especially when it comes to some of the more impressive Classics figures. And this is probably more the case here than it's ever been before. This is probably one of the most deco-intensive Masters Universe Classics releases that they ever did, in terms of just the incredible amount of painted detail, even the shading work that goes into the neck. And of course, if you turn them around, huge difference here, because this does indeed pick up the slack and keeps that red going. Another big difference is his 2000X vest that he's got. And I always felt like that was a great call on the part of Mattel or the Four Horsemen or whoever it was that decided that Rattlor should have this vest. Because I think without it, he always looks kind of perpetually naked to me. It's like he needs a little something. You know, that's just something I've always noticed. Once you see it, you sort of can't unsee it. I would take this off and try it on him. I'll be 100% with you. I bet it would work just fine, probably. This might be slightly too wide to accommodate it. Probably doesn't need to latch onto the back. But this thing was always really, really difficult to get on, and it was something they released later. I can't remember if it was in an accessory pack or what. And I'm just glad that it's on there and on there well, and I'm not going to risk it. It would probably be fine to just throw it on here, even if you can't latch it all the way. Of course, there's plenty of different Masters Origins figures that you could put Rattlor here with, but I think maybe most appropriate of all is going to be Snake Armor He-Man. Of course, they're the two that's meant to go together, and they look fantastic. I think especially awesome is, as you can plainly see, his claw seems to almost be made the exact size that it needs to be to capture the neck of Rattlor here. So I think that that is pretty cool, I have to say. Sure enough, it's in there so well that even pulling it back, you can see that it stays within the claw. So if you want He-Man to absolutely, you know, wrestle him down and kind of, you can hear him rattle as He-Man beats him half to death. That's how I play He-Man anyway. The bad guys don't often win. Well, friends, Rattlor would stick around a little bit longer so that we could drone on and on about comparisons and little details here and there. But indeed, the analytics and also the flow of this battle are certainly telling me that I should end it a little bit quicker. So I surely do hope that you guys have enjoyed the review. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out, because I'm going to be reviewing so many more Masters of the Universe items very soon. It seems like Mattel's just releasing everything that they have for the holidays just in this last couple of weeks, and so it means it's a really exciting time here at the channel. Of course, I highly suggest Rattlor. I think Mattel did miss a trick by not painting the back there, because that would have made such a difference and really set him apart. But I still think he's a very effective figure and a very fun one, especially for anybody who wants to recapture the nostalgia of that original. And with all that out of the way, as always, God bless you and yours, and I'll see you on Fanboys Forever. Fanboy out. Hey man, he's still breathing. He's still breathing, oh my god. So if you want He-Man to absolutely, you know, wrestle him down and kind of, you can hear him rattle as He-Man beats him half to death. He's still breathing. Of course, we have to do a comparison with the Masters of... He's still breathing. This is, you know, I hate to say it, I feel like a broken record. Oh my god.